Hello there, everyone. Welcome to GamePoints episode 210. Your weekly little get together. We talk about recent gaming news. I'm, as always, your host, Stephen Brown. Joining me today is.
I'm David.
Tonight, David, we have even more details about the Xbox Series X. Silent Hill rumors abound, and Minecraft is apparently letting journalists get around censorship in one of the most interesting video game stories I've seen ever.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's awesome.
But first, before we get into any of that, I want everyone here to know that this is an audience interactive podcast. So if you're watching here live at Twitch TV/GamePoints every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or later over at youtube.com/GamePointsPC, feel free to join in the conversation with any questions, comments, concerns, etc. Just try to keep it germane to the conversation. But first, but first, before we get into the news, I want to talk about that goddamn Castlevania Netflix series.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Because I finally finished up season 3 today, before we went live.
Oh, nice.
And it is by far the best video game adaptation I've ever seen.
I mean, that was already the case for it, right?
Yeah, well, it solidified it for damn sure after season 3. Highly recommend, if you guys haven't seen it and you have Netflix and you're a fan of Castlevania, take a look at it. The team that does that, Warren Ellis is the writer, Adi Shankar produces it, and all the animators, they clearly know and, importantly, enjoy the source material.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Take a look at that. David?
Yes.
A whole bunch of techie information dropped about the Xbox Series X a couple days ago.
Gotta love techie nonsense.
So
that's everybody's favorite thing.
I'm going to let you lead this one off because, as we have established multiple times, you are the one that knows hardware better than I do.
All right, so we got a bunch of further details on the Xbox Series X, which is still a bad name, but I don't care. I'm not in charge.
Now, to be clear,
obviously
though,
don't know shit about the PS5, really, comparatively, right?
Didn't a lot of this information drop last week?
Yeah, we knew most of this.
Okay. They just kind of went into a deeper dive, from what I can tell.
Yeah, not a lot of this is new information. It's still confirmed to have 12 teraflops on the GPU, and it's an 8-core, 3.8 gigahertz custom Zen 2 CPU made by AMD. AMD's making all the money in the console wars still. It's just got a bunch of stuff that you guys don't care about. Die size process, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6. It's got a custom NVMe SSD.
What is die size exactly?
Dude, I don't even know what die size is.
Okay, I wasn't sure. It says 360.45 millimeters, or millimeters squared. So it's apparently like a size of something.
It's
like
just
an area.
Things that people really like to hear about, I guess. And I don't know. It's all pretty exciting. It's better than any other console, right? It's got the best kind of RAM compared to anything that's released. It's got the most flops. It's got hella flops. 12 teraflops is a bunch of flops.
It is using GDDR6.
Yes.
So that's actually that's like the newest RAM that's out there.
Yes. Which is better than they did last time. So like when the Xbox One released, right, they were still using GDDR3 or 4, and the PS4 at the time was using GDDR5. So like that was one of the things back when that happened. And for comparison, because I did look it up because last time I was an asshole and didn't actually bother to tell anybody, the Xbox graphics card has 12 teraflops, right? The new one that's coming out.
Yeah.
For comparison, so you know, the launch PS4 had 1.8.
Okay.
The launch Xbox One had 1.4.
So
in the mid-cycle, the Pro put out 4.2 and the One X put out 6. So graphically, it's potentially twice as strong as the Xbox One X. Now, that doesn't mean that things are going to look twice as good.
Correct.
Because that's not really how it works. It just has twice the processing power. It's the amount of operations per second that it can perform. So think that your game scenes could be more detailed. They could be more busy. There could be more particle effects.
It can get away with doing a lot of more shit behind the scenes too.
Yes.
You don't have to use as many tricks and shortcuts. Like, for example, I remember when I was watching like a making of Horizon Zero Dawn, how the reason why they made that game look so good is because anything that's not actively on the camera is just not loaded.
Yeah, everything behind you just disappears.
Yeah.
And it's really cool the way they do that.
But as such, you have to sacrifice some stuff to make that work. You might not be able to have as much stuff on the screen at once, for example. So what this allows is for you to get around that stuff that's all under the hood. Like for a player would never notice that.
Yep. Some additional details that were popped up in the article, and this is a big long thing. Obviously, you guys can read it yourselves if you really want to get a deep dive on all
links
the
will
super
be
techie
provided
nonsense
down below in the description.
But still, stuff we kind of knew about. 120 FPS support.
Did we know about that? Because I didn't think we actually knew about that. I knew
think that was
heavily
rumored, but this is actually confirmation.
Okay.
1 terabyte of onboard storage with a 1 terabyte expansion card.
So
that is the weird part, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't think this is going to be an Xbox only problem. I'll get that out of the way first. But there is going to be an Xbox Series X storage expansion card, which provides additional game storage at peak speed and performance by replicating the console's internal custom SSD. Because keep in mind, the consoles aren't using your off-the-shelf regular NVMe SSD card that you can plug into your computer right now. They're using a kind of proprietary blend, so it loads even faster than the current slate of NVMe cards.
And
which is really damn impressive because those are monstrous.
But you mentioned the word that I'm dreading because this
proprietary.
It kills a lot of Sony product for me. That proprietary bullshit.
But what's funny is that most likely Sony has probably ran into a similar issue. So what I'm really curious on whether or not, I think it's Seagate who's putting together the drives. I'm wondering if both manufacturers contacted them and if the drive you buy for your Xbox could be the same one you drive for your PS4. This is possibly a new expansion card, but just looking at the history of video games, it's highly fucking unlikely.
I get the feeling that because of that they're straight up saying custom, they're bracing the market to go, hey, this thing's going to be $100 if you want one of these.
Oh, it'll be more than $100.
Yeah, and this is a way for them to keep the cost of the console down too. By the way,
yeah.
This is a way for them to be
1
able to sell
terabyte
this.
sounds like a decent amount of storage when you're looking at original Xbox games and stuff like that. But keep in mind that we hit games at the end of this console cycle that Modern Warfare is 130 gigs.
I don't know how much it is on console, but on PC it's 100+ gigs. That's a tenth of your hard drive right now, and it's not like
I can tell you Red Dead Redemption 2 for sure is 120.
Yeah, it's not like you'll have access to that entire 1 terabyte drive either. You'll probably have access to 800 gigs of it.
Yeah, well, that's also the way those things gotta work out.
So I mean, I'm bringing that up because do the math, right? So 1 terabyte drive, usable 800. Call of Duty is 100 of that right there. Red Dead Redemption 2 is 100 of that. Let's round it up to 250 for both those games combined. Now suddenly you have roughly half a gig of usable space. 550.
Yeah.
So this is going to wrap up real quick. I will also say those expandable storage slots, the expandable storage cards, really remind me of like PlayStation 2 memory cards and PlayStation 1 memory cards.
Oh, dude, I just immediately thought that the Vita hard memory cards, it just looks like a thing that doesn't fit in anything else. One thing that we don't know is whether or not the system can use just a plain old plug-in USB expandable hard drive, right? Because they're so guaranteed on, okay, you got to have all your games loaded on these drives because we're going to be able to do the jump back and forth between different games instantaneously with those loads. Do they have the option to put like older games and all your backwards compatible games on like an older hard drive and let them load?
Man, I doubt it. Video game? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to let you put your own hard drive in this thing.
Yeah, because I think it breaks some of the features that they're building into it.
As do I.
We also looked at the controller, which has the same kind of general look as the One X controller. It's got that hybrid D-pad nonsense going on.
At first blush, it looks just like this, right? The standard Xbox. I'm holding up the wireless controller for people who are listening. But the D-pad here, rather than just being a cross, if you take a look at the picture on it, it is like a full circle with a raised directional pad on top. And I'm into it. I really like that. You just don't care. It's not for you.
Nah. The best D-pad is still going to be the one from the original Super Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as D-pads are concerned, yeah.
Like I rarely use the D-pad, so I'm not necessarily going to argue with you on that one. It's just not something I would expect.
If you guys could just grab the D-pad from like the original SNES controllers and just start throwing it on your controllers, that'd be great.
I think we're all in agreement, however, the most garbage D-pad is the one on the Steam controller.
That's not a D-pad. The Steam controller is doing its own bullshit.
Yeah, well, it's bad either way.
And I think actually the original Xbox holds the title as the worst D-pad because fighting games were impossible to play on that shit.
Well, yeah, especially on you're talking like the original Xbox with the Duke, right?
The Duke, yeah.
That thing was, god damn, I hated using that thing. I hate it. I know that there are people who love the Duke. There's like this weird Duke cult out there. I mean, they're so prevalent, they actually named it Duke, and it stuck. So there's enough of them out there for that to actually become a thing. But god damn did I hate that thing. Every button on that just felt awkwardly placed. I'm glad they streamlined it. Let's put it this way. I'm glad that they looked at the PlayStation controller and went, let's just make it more like that.
Yep. And the surprising part of all this is that the console is still listed as coming in the holiday 2020 season. Everyone is kind of wondering whether or not we'll see the consoles at the end of this year, because obviously that was the original plan. But with all of the Corona-based panic and honestly lack of manufacturing and production as a result of that, there's a very real chance that we could see things delayed. But as of right now, we haven't heard anything firm on the consoles.
I don't think that Microsoft would have said holiday 2020 if they weren't confident they can get this out before the end of 2020.
I mean, yeah, whatever. But it's hard to get a lot of things that people don't think should be very difficult to get.
Right. No, I understand.
So unless they already sourced all of the chips and hardware and manufacturing parts that they're going to need to build these things, and they're building them here, we'll see.
I honestly think that Microsoft, I think Sony is going to get fucked more than Microsoft is on this, because it is just, and I'm not basing this on anything just other than what I have observed. So take for it what you will. It feels that when it comes to the next generation consoles, Microsoft has been on top of this and Sony has been dragging their ass.
Yeah, it's possible. Or they're just waiting for the last possible minute to try and show them up. But at this point, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
We'll see. But it just feels like Sony's dragging ass on this. And I think Sony's supply chain is far more fucked than Microsoft's supply chain. I think Microsoft has a more spread out global distribution center than Sony does. I think Sony's very, very focused on Asian markets to develop things. I think Microsoft has a bigger infrastructure to get the tools in their hand that they need.
It's possible. We'll have to wait and see.
Once again, I could be wrong on that. That is just what it feels like. Don't take me to the bank on that one. That's just my guess. Yeah. But as you said, we will see.
Speaking of things you shouldn't trust us on.
Yeah, I don't even know if I trust this source on it, but we're going to go for it.
I don't trust this. I don't trust this, just to preface, I don't trust this rumor even a little bit.
We will go ahead and go right into this. This is from RelyOnHorror.net. Hey, Junsi, by the way, looks like you're a PS5 fan. Totally get it. I'm probably going to be a PS5 fan more than an Xbox fan myself, but we'll see how it comes out. There's a good chance I'll be getting them both. Or no, for reasons that we'll talk about later. Headline from via Rely on Horror. Sources: PlayStation backs Silent Hill series reboot and Silent Hills revival. That's right, rumors say that we have a Silent Hill reboot and Silent Hills coming back, according to Rely on Horror's anonymous sources. Important to point out that these
website that we never ever used has an anonymous source that says that we're definitely getting more Silent Hill.
We have used Rely on Horror, I believe, at least 3 times on this show.
Was one of them the other time that they said this?
All 3 times they have been accurate.
Okay. All right.
Are
they all Konami boys? Does this guy just like have a bro that works at Konami?
He might. I don't know. But going into the actual article itself, I'm going to more or less read it to you verbatim, so just give me a second to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
You may recall a rumor that we previously reported on regarding the future of the iconic Silent Hill series. Namely, Konami had been seeking out developers in order to continue the Silent Hill franchise and seemingly settle on 2 new entries. What was reported at the time was Silent Hill reboot along with some sort of anthology or episodic Silent Hill. We have a trusted source regarding this news, and another source has corroborated with us that Masahiro Ito, the creature designer for the first 4 titles in the series, is indeed working on a Silent Hill game as previously speculated. The same sources name Sony as the driving force behind the series back, most likely as a PlayStation 5 exclusive, though this is conjecture on our part and our source's part. Our first source, who we've come to trust well, indicates that Keiichiro Toyama, the director and writer of the original 1999 Silent Hill, and Akira Yamamoto, the composer for the majority of the franchise, are also returning alongside Masahiro Ito. The trio will helm a soft reboot of a Silent Hill series, and possibly just called Silent Hill. Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan Studio, which possibly includes team members from Project Siren, the group behind Siren Blood Curse for the PlayStation 3, will be behind its development in some capacity, either full or in part. Our source states that this title has been worked for about a year. Our second source, which has no connection to the first, was aware of Ito's involvement in a new Silent Hill title and informed us this information some time ago. I'm going to put a pause at the article right here. A couple things. One, while the articles that I have reported on with Real Lion Horror have been accurate, they have also been wildly inaccurate before in the past.
Yep. If you make up enough shit, eventually you'll get something right.
They have a decent track record. No, not an amazing track record, but it's better than, say, an anonymous 4chan post.
I mean, isn't it? Because I feel like they probably have the same accuracy ratings. There's a million like bullshit 4chan articles that we've probably never seen, but every time they get one of them right, they'll pull it from 2, 3, however many years ago. This guy knew. He knew about it.
Let me ask you this, David.
Yeah.
Is this like you honestly don't believe it, or you just don't even want to entertain the idea of it because you're doing the whole Hawkeye don't give me hope bit?
Honestly, this is monkeys at a typewriter to me.
So eventually, somewhere along the line, they'll get right.
Enough monkeys, enough typewriters. Eventually, they fucking shit out Shakespeare.
It's like how if I say there's going to be a Nintendo Direct this week, eventually there will be a Nintendo Direct, and I'll be proven
because
right.
You'd say Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Direct, Nintendo Direct. Yeah, of course you're going to be right. Unless they cancel Nintendo Directs, and then I could be like, oh, suck it, you're wrong.
Fair enough. Going back to the article. The second Silent Hill title referenced in the previous rumor is still being worked out at the moment, but it's looking very well it could be Silent Hills, Hideo Kojima's famously canceled title. According to our first source, Sony is working to patch up the relationship between Kojima Productions and Konami in order to resurrect the game due to the amount of buzz and continued demand for it 5 years after its cancellation. Our second source shared the same information with us in the past. We can now report on it with some confidence in its legitimacy. Source number 1 goes on to say the game will even make use of the next-gen PlayStation VR headset for PlayStation 5. Allegedly, Sony has pitched the game to Kojima as a title a little more akin to a Telltale/Supermassive narrative-driven title, which would offer him full creative freedom. Our source does emphasize, however, that Silent Hills is not a done deal, and for now the only game in active development is the reboot from SIE Japan Studio. While Sony is pushing for the series' comeback, our sources do not say that they're out to own the Silent Hill IP. Sony and Konami are working together on these titles. So, one thing I want to establish out the gate is that's the last bit, where their sources are saying Sony is not outright looking to own the Silent Hill IP. This is running counter to a less reputable rumor that's saying that Sony is looking to buy Castlevania, Metal Gear, and Silent Hill from Konami. I immediately just tossed that one into the trash. I don't believe that rumor making its way around at all. I don't think Konami has any incentive to sell those IP at all because they do still slap their names on those pachinko machines. So any rumors of Sony outright buying the intellectual property from Konami, I believe can be dismissed just whole cloth.
Yeah. I mean, why would they sell it when they could just license it?
Exactly.
And make money sitting on their asses. Also, would you want Silent Hills if it was a Telltale/Supermassive game?
I think so.
Would you want the Silent, like what PT was building on? Do you want that turned into a Telltale Supermassive game?
I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
I would be fine with, as long as they gave me like an actual proper Silent Hill and just didn't turn it into that.
I'm just saying, if you're going to give Kojima Silent Hill, why would you give him the Telltale one? Why wouldn't you give that to another studio and give him the one that he was already building?
Because he already has a plot and story wrapped up involved in it. He already has in his brain where he would have liked to have gone with it. Additionally, Kojima has expressed interest in moving more and more away from game development and more into Hollywood stuff and turning it into a Telltale/Until Dawn/Man of Medan style game.
Gotcha.
Would be far more fitting for what he is looking to actually do.
That makes sense, but I still don't believe a word
So
of it. I mean, that being
sorry.
said, if these games come out and we're like, we get these Sony, Konami, Kojima, Silent Hill games just released out of nowhere, I'll still be in line buying them. Don't get me wrong. I just don't believe a word of it.
the fact that they had like two sources independently apparently verifying each other, and that Rely on Horror has been correct with a
Cool. Their two sources could be me and you.
Technically, yes, but once again, Jason Schreier's blind sources could also be me and you by that logic. The site does have a reliable, mostly past things. Now, that's why I give the caveat. The site has also said some shit that just did not pan out.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why I just did not dismiss them, because they have not a high degree of reliability, but a above acceptable bar level of reliability.
Broken clock.
It's more than a broken clock. They're more than a broken clock, but I'm not saying they're atomic.
So they're a. All right, that's fine. Broken clock with only a minute hand. It's right 24 times a day.
God damn it. Another reason why I think this makes sense, though, I'm not necessarily saying this is exactly going to happen, but it has like an air of truthiness to it, to use a Stephen Colbert term.
I mean, this is something that if Sony had that announcement, people would go completely insane.
Yeah. Additionally,
if they got on stage and said, by the way, PS5 is getting a Silent Hill game and a Castlevania game and a Metal Gear game.
Well, remember what I said. Remember what I said. I said that part of the rumor, which is actually running counter to what these guys are saying. That last part about them buying the IPs is a completely separate rumor going around. Yeah. I think that's complete and total bullshit. And the Relay on Horror article...
I mean, I'm saying they could say any of those franchises and people would go insane.
Yeah, no, I agree. But back to my point about how one of the things why I think this article has some amount of truthiness to it is just look at the gaming landscape right now. You know Konami is looking at Capcom and going, holy shit, they're making a lot of money off remaking Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Why can't we do the same with Silent Hill?
I mean, they used to be direct competitors. Capcom and Konami had games coming out like crazy back in the day.
Yep. So while Konami is massively pulled away from video gaming, I think that they realize they're sitting on an extremely, I don't want to say valuable IP, because Silent Hill was never really, it's never a game that was going to be doing gangbusters, but they are sitting on something that can move copies if they outsource the development and decided not to do it themselves. So that they don't have
to work on it, and just make money.
And giving it to the Japan studio, who has done horror games in the past, specifically Siren, which is a fun survival horror game. Everything about this article makes sense. Especially the idea of when you're looking at the shit that Kojima has been doing over the past few weeks about how essentially one of his closest confidants pieced out of Kojima Productions under suspicious circumstances. He might have been upset with the company about something. All the shit Kojima has been teasing lately on the internet about working with Norman Reedus again very soon. His whole pyramid pencil bullshit. The idea that while Kojima and Konami would never necessarily work together, Sony being in there as a mediator. Just, there's enough... All the questions that I would have about this rumor that would make me question its legitimacy are answered directly in the article.
Yeah, dude, I want to believe. I get it.
As far as what I am concerned, I would give this rumor a 55% likelihood chance of being true. I would say it's better than a coin flip. But I also know that Konami is notoriously difficult to work with. Yep. They are not interested in video games anymore for the most part, besides what money they can get from them. Yep. So if all of this could be true, and it could still be scuttled by Konami going, no, we want like 70% of the cut instead of 40 or whatever it is.
It's true. And so they'll swat because they don't need to.
Exactly. So this could be a case where, yes, this is 100% true, and we still never see the light of day because it could not actually have been greenlit. That's all I wanted to bring up. But it was making the rounds. I love Silent Hill. I hate what they have done with that franchise. I hate that they keep just... Silent Hill 2 specifically meant something with its character design, and instead they took that character design and just shoehorned Pyramid Head and the nurses into every single game afterwards, Rather, it to me that always showed that subsequent the next teams that worked on that game and the next people that were directed really didn't know what the hell they didn't understand Silent Hill 2.
They didn't realize why the game did as well as it did.
Yeah. In fact, I believe the creature designer, what's his name? The guy that actually made Pyramid Head has repeatedly saying, I can't remember his name, has repeatedly said, let Pyramid Head die.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be in every Silent Hill game.
That thing was, the Pyramid Head was not a monster stalking Silent Hill. It was specifically a monster created from James's memory. But now I'm going off on a tangent about a game, and this argument has been done to death.
Yeah. That's old. Old news is old. New news is new. Speaking of new news, we got a Nintendo Switch Indie World Showcase. You finally got your Direct that you said every week for the last however many weeks that you were going to
I have not said it every week. I say it once a month.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Although, the while talking about this, there is like some cam girl, I can't remember her name on Twitter, who has accurately predicted and claimed certain events that have been happening over the past few weeks with a high degree of accuracy, and she says she's getting it from specific executives that she like financially dominates online.
That's hilarious.
Like, for example, she called that E3 was going to get canceled and what day it was going to happen. And she said, yeah, I was doing a webcam show with some director from the ESA, and he was like a little bitch, and like she like dominated him to tell her something that was supposed to be kept secret, and then she tells the internet. And she did the same thing recently about the Nintendo Directs, including this one, and a rumored one next week.
That's funny. Anyway, back to news. We had a indie-based Direct come out earlier, and we're not going to go over every single game that was listed on the Direct. There's a whole bunch there. You can always sit down and watch it if you want. We'll have a link, but we can't show Nintendo-based things because our videos will get pulled down.
Yeah, they hate us.
Nintendo do.
Nintendo
a couple
sucks.
cool looking things though. Baldo was on there. It's a very, very Miyazaki looking RPG. It's got that Ghibli vibe.
It looks a lot like Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, I can see that. We're getting a sequel to Pixel Junk Eden, so the newest game from the Pixel Junk guys. Every single Pixel Junk game, I think, was great. I mean, all of them. Monsters, shooter, whatever. They're all fun. Eden, it has some neat stuff where it actually builds the levels as you're playing it, so it's got some interesting stuff. Eldest Souls, which honestly sounds like a name guaranteed to get striked by both FromSoft and Bethesda, is coming out, which is like a boss rush game. Stylistically, looks a lot like Children of Morta. I actually do like the art style in this game.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
We also saw The Last Campfire, which is the next game from Hello Games. Yeah, the guys who made No Man's Sky.
Shit, I didn't realize that. I did not put it on my part of the list here for that. I did not realize that they actually had a new game coming out. Very cool.
Yeah, and it looks nothing like No Man's Sky. It's got absolutely nothing to do with this. This is a very small, easier to digest adventure game starring a little blue dude going on a quest. And the music in that trailer is pretty haunting. It's pretty great. Sky Children of the Light is from That Game Company, who put out Flow, Journey, and Flower. I will buy this 100% without even looking at it.
Just don't even need to see the trailer.
I just need to know those 3 words. Those are all just gems in my mind. And during the sizzle reel, we saw a little bit of Bounty Battle, which is a kind of indie-based Smash Brothers, which I think is a lot better than, what was that other? Not Brawlhalla. There was another kind of Smash Brothers clone that was on the eShop a long time ago that had a couple of people from indie games, but this has a bit more. So it's got like the Dead Cells character, Eater, Doko Roko, Nokia Throne, Axe Verge, Bug Butcher, Guacamelee. So a lot more of the 2D platformer characters are in this kind of indie Smash Bros.
I'm into it. I like the Nintendo Switch has a lot of cool games on it, especially indie games. My biggest concern is, however, is that it's also very rapidly becoming a home for a bunch of mobile shovelware.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
And it's starting to become less and less reliable of a marketplace, and I hate it now.
I hate looking at the eShop store. I honestly do. It's garbage.
It is. By the way, to go back to something we were talking about earlier, that cam girl source goes on Twitter by the name of @HotGirlVideo69. And their most
just
recent
dropping fucking cam girl names.
Well, hold on. Their most recent statement regarding industry news is there will be a Nintendo Direct next week with there will be a Nintendo Direct next week, and she said this yesterday, with some teaser info about Breath of the Wild 2 and supposedly a teaser about a Metroid game. Learned from a guy I caught a cuck beta over webcam. Update. The cuck beta paypig says it'll be a 25 to 30 second Breath of the Wild 2 teaser with a 5-second Metroid teaser. Not sure if it's at the beginning or the end of Nintendo Direct. I guess we'll see if its predictions are as good as Mama's tit money he is giving me. Finally. Finally, right here. Also, I hope if I am right that when Nintendo Direct is happening, that it includes some cute little bit where someone from the Japanese Nintendo office is wearing a face mask or gloves or something and they tell gamers to stay safe and play in as much as possible. So, there's enough, like, detailed information there to where we can find out if she actually knows what she's talking about. Because if that shit actually appears next week, then we have, for sure, a brand new source. That hot cam girl, or whatever her name was, I've already closed it, actually does know, like, financially dominates a few executives at various video game companies. We'll see.
That's complete insanity, but also believable, I guess. I don't know. Anything's possible.
Hey, Captain Ice Cold, how you doing?
I'll let you take over this next story because damn, do you love talking about numbers?
I do love
nerdy numbers like me, boring numbers that have money in them.
Absolutely love numbers. This article is from gamesindustry.biz. Headline: February U.S. sales down 29%, says the NPD. The games industry kicked off this year with 2 straight months of double-digit declines across the board. The industry tracking NPD group today reported that its U.S. game industry consumer spending numbers for February showing an overall sales down 29% year over year to $755 million. On the software side, NPD sales found sales of the game software when it tracks, which includes physical software and full game digital sales from select publishers, were down 36% year over year to $307 million. Keep in mind that the NPD's top 20 chart for February featured no new releases. So anything that was released in February failed to chart. It was still dominated by Call of Duty's sports games and Grand Theft Auto 5.
Still holding strong.
That game. One thing to keep in mind is that traditionally digital sales are not included in the NPD listing, making the NPD numbers progressively more and more useless as time goes on. Especially when we have figures something like 70% of all Borderlands 3 sales were digital or some shit like that. So you have to pay to get full access to the NPD numbers, which are becoming pointless as time goes on. But it's still the best we got at the moment.
I just think it's really funny because this is February, of course, that we are talking about, so this isn't March. And I am willing to bet that not just because it's later into the year, but March is going to do so much better.
Yes.
Everybody's stuck inside the house. I didn't actually manage to write this down, but I don't know if you noticed that yesterday was a new record for Steam for concurrent users online at the same time.
I saw that before, like moments before we have been online.
Yeah, they broke 20 million concurrent users.
Yes, and Steam was actually down earlier this afternoon.
Yes, they were, because everybody is at home playing video games.
There are a bunch of reasons for this, by the way, including end of life of consoles, so not many games are coming out.
Yeah, for sure.
Not many games released in February this year as in last year, because everything's coming out in fucking March this time around.
Well, everything got delayed. Like all the big February stuff, everyone got scared of each other and got pushed back and delayed.
Yeah, so there are reasons for this that make sense. I would not panic into this too much. Additionally, I don't think the coronavirus is going to affect game sales all that much because there are ways to get these games into your home.
No, I'm not saying that it's affecting it negatively. I think it's going to have an absolute positive effect on game sales for this month.
So
that's where I'm coming from, because more people are stuck at home. So what are they going to do? They're going to play video games.
Let me look this up real quick. I made some points earlier online, and I was wanting to bring up their show, but I forgot what those points were. And it revolves around how GameStop is absolutely and totally fucked.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. But digital distribution is a whole other story.
So here we go. If you didn't think GameStop was in trouble before, consider this. 1, most of the biggest releases of the year so far, announced anyways, come out roughly in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these can be easily downloaded at home if push comes to shove.
Yes, and a lot of people have removed data caps at the moment.
Yes. Many people are actively not leaving their homes because of COVID-19. This means that GameStop, who is already facing major issues, will likely not even come close to selling as many copies of Final Fantasy VII, Resident Evil 3, Doom, Animal Crossing, etc., as they were hoping for, aka they needed this chunk of games. Because once this is out, it's like barren until next year, until late this year.
Also, revealed earlier, they canceled all their midnight releases.
Yes. Additionally, if the next-gen consoles are delayed, now it sounds like Microsoft's might not be, but PlayStation sounds like it probably will be, they'll miss out on that revenue this year as well. Furthermore, E3 is canceled. Do you know what one of the biggest drivers in the summertime for pre-sales is at GameStop? Fucking E3 trailers. So if you didn't think GameStop was screwed before, they sure as hell are now.
Reggie will fix it. Reggie's got a plan.
No, Reggie ain't going to be able to do anything.
He's going to merge him with Hot Topic.
Not even Reggie. God damn it. They might as well.
He's going to make a tablet that people can order directly from GameStop, and it turns into a video game television.
So let's see. Captain Ice Cold in chat says, since I'll have the time to play, I bought Animal Crossing, Stellaris Federation. Love Stellaris Federation, by the way. Disclaimer, they did give me a copy of that for free, but goddamn do I love what the rework for Federation that they did. And he's also considering buying Doom and Breakpoint, both games I wouldn't get otherwise. Now, Doom, I am buying. The reviews came out for that. It sounds amazing. I will be playing that as soon as I can. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I don't know if I could say that's a good game, even if you're bored.
You do whatever makes you happy, but there's a chance that might not make you happy.
Yeah, there's a high chance Ghost Recon Breakpoint is not going to be a good game for you. As someone who got to play that before, a little bit before it came out, I distinctly remember looking at my Ubisoft rep going, what the hell is this?
But with that in mind, keep in mind what happened to Siege and Division.
Yeah, they got better over time. They absolutely got better over time.
That's something they absolutely work on, because they don't just send games out to die and stop working on them. So, as much as you disliked it when you first played it, there's a lot of stuff they can change in a amount of time. Dude, I bought what the hell is that game? Anthem, just in case it gets good.
When it was on like $2, yeah. I mean, if Anthem gets good, I will play it again.
There's always that chance.
Speaking of,
Ubisoft more than any other studio, I think, is definitely kind of the best at making their games.
They tend to support them for a long time.
Yeah,
like fuck, For Honor just announced an update that's going to have Prince of Persia in it. So
yeah, dude, that's rad.
They do support this stuff for a long time. David, let's go ahead and move on to the last video game story of the big news segment.
Super cool.
But this is really fucking cool. Why don't you lead us off?
If you get a chance, please look this thing up, because it looks flippin' amazing. This story is from Gizmondo. The Minecraft library provides a platform for censored journalists. Spearheaded by Reporters Without Borders and built by Blockworks and DDB Berlin, the Uncensored Library is a place you can visit within Minecraft to read the works of censored journalists from Russia, Mexico, Egypt, Vietnam, and Saudi Arabia. Unlike news websites or personal blogs, Minecraft is still accessible in countries that tightly control what is reported about their governments, and Reporters Without Borders is now using this loophole to bypass internet censorship. Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is so fucking cool.
Coolest shit in the world. This is using a video game to get the freedom of the press to people that otherwise can't. How dope is that? Man, this whole story just makes me really excited. Going on, the forbidden articles were republished in books within Minecraft, giving readers the chance to inform themselves about the real political situation in their countries and learn the importance of press freedom, says the Uncensored Library on its website. There's two different ways to access it. For Windows 10 users, you can download the map from the Uncensored Library website, extract the file, save it to your Minecraft folder, yada yada. We can throw the details in the description if you're interested in it, or you can check the link and go to their website.
I'll put the link in chat here. It will be also in the description down below.
Yep. You can also connect to the Uncensored Library's own Minecraft server without having to download the map. So that's your other option. If you're trying to download and install it, it'll only work on the Java version, not the Windows 10 version. If you're trying to access a server, it only works with Minecraft version 1.14. Blah blah blah. There's a few like caveats and details that you'll want to take a look at. If I tell you all of them now, I don't think it'll be actually that helpful. But going on to the library, which please just like Google it, look at a picture, look at the Uncensored Library, watch the little video. The thing looks flippin' awesome.
The purpose of it aside, it's actually an impressive piece of Minecraft architecture.
Yeah, it looks amazing, and it has a super cool reason for existing. The library itself is divided into 6 sections, 5 of which contain the works of censored journalists, and 1 for Reporters Without Borders. At the main entrance to each section, sans the Reporters Without Borders one, there's a pedestal with a book on it that contains information about the current state of government censorship within that country and lists what number it ranks on the World Press Freedom Index.
This is one of the most goddamn awesome things I've ever seen in video games. This is up there with like the folding at home shit. This is up there with I've forgot the other. I had a list of things was like cool.
I don't even know what's cooler than this. This is amazing to me. I love it. I love every piece of it. It's cool.
No, I highly recommend you all take a look at this if you play Minecraft or interested in censorship topics at all.
Yeah, or even if you don't play Minecraft, just go look at it. It's rad.
This is a way to get around things like the Great Firewall of China, because Minecraft, I believe, can be played in China. I'm not positive on that. But either way, it's
and I'm sure they'll figure out some way to block this. But at least in the meantime, this is rad.
It's a repository for forbidden knowledge. And
how cool is that, man? How often do we get to say that?
A repository for forbidden knowledge?
Yeah, dude.
It does have a certain je ne sais quoi behind it, for sure.
Dude, it's like the flipping library at Alexandria. Like, it's just cool.
This look we were talking about the architecture, the Minecraft architecture. This looks like it could have been modeled after pictures of the Library of drawings, rather, and descriptions of the Library of Alexandria. It has that like classical style to it, a bunch of columns. It looks almost kind of borderline Greece in its architecture. Just take a look at it. It's really cool. Also, one thing too I want to bring up. I didn't put it in here. It's in the article, though. Apparently, the more restrictive a country is, the more twisty and turny it takes to get to that section of that country section in the building.
Oh, really? That's
so if like it's a like you have like your like Mexico's restrictive, but Vietnam's way more restrictive, and China's super restrictive. To get to China is a lot harder to get through like the twists and turns than it is to get to Mexico. To kind of give you an idea.
China's not on the list.
Yeah, it's in the article itself. I recommend you read the article. Take a look at it. David, that kind of wraps it up for the big news stories of the week, but we do have a couple things to look out for, which is our semi-regular segment that we have. First up, we have Resident Evil 3 having a couple of demos, and according to their tweet, March 19th, the Resident Evil 3 Raccoon City demo will overtake the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam. That is this Thursday. Plus an open beta for the Resident Evil Resistance begins on March 27th. Resident Evil Resistance, of course, being their 4-player versus
asymmetrical spooky Resident Evil game.
Yeah. Get strong.
Which I also will probably play.
I want to try it once. Try it once.
It's Dead by Daylight-esque using an IP I care about.
Yeah. I'm kind of in that same boat, too. I will be likely streaming that demo, by the way, when it drops. We'll see. I can't make any promises to that, but we'll definitely take a look at it. Very excited for Resident Evil 3 coming out early next month.
Yeah, April 3rd.
Unlike the last demo, the Resident Evil 2 one-shot demo, they are not imposing any kind of time limit on there.
Yeah.
So play it to your heart's content. Also,
who knows if anybody's going to actually speedrun it as much as like the FF7 demo is getting speedrun, but we'll see.
Also getting where was I? Also, something else to look out for this week. I completely forgot where I was at. We're getting PlayStation 5 info tomorrow. Finally. That is Wednesday.
Finally.
March 18th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. PlayStation 5 lead system architect Mark Cerny, also creator of Knack, will provide deep dive into PlayStation 5 system architecture and how it will shape the future of games. You can watch that at the PlayStation blog. This will be apparently the most information we've actually had on the upcoming console. Sony once again doing what Sony loves to do and go right behind Microsoft. And with any luck, we'll see how it shakes out. I highly doubt we'll get any pricing or a date.
But we might learn how many teraflops it's got. Maybe it's got yada flops, bro.
My gut tells me we will get as much information on the PlayStation 5 tomorrow as we got on the Xbox Series X yesterday.
In like December.
We'll definitely see. David, though?
Yes.
Tomorrow is so far away.
Also, a yada flop's a real thing. I wasn't making that up.
No shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is the
It's
yottaflop?
gigaflops, teraflops, petaflops, exaflops, zetaflops,
I don't
yottaflops.
like there's one called pedoflops. That bothers me.
Dude, yeah, yottaflops is way up there.
David, tomorrow's so
Yes.
far away. It's
Tomorrow's
like
way far away, dude. You'd have to like sit around and wait for some amount of hours until 9 o'clock
as of
tomorrow.
right now,
Like
that
12 hours and however many minutes.
Yeah, as of right now, that PlayStation 5 announcement is 12 hours and 15 minutes away. What can I play
Dang.
in the meantime to keep myself occupied before then?
Well, you can play some of these things, but keep in mind that some video games release on Friday, and I'm here to tell you which ones
Shut
because I'm
up,
pretty
David,
damn
and
lazy.
just read the new releases.
All right. First up, coming out PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, we have Overpass, keeping in mind that this game is going to be on PC, but as an Epic exclusive. So you got that to keep in mind. Overpass takes what Spin Tires did to driving cars through the mud and trying to navigate, and turns it into like a hill climb challenge.
I
So
never
you see
even
those
heard
guys.
of Spin Tires.
Oh, well, shit, that game's old and people like it. Anyway, you seen the guys with like the crazy lifted Jeeps, but not the ones that just drive to the grocery store, but the guys that actually go outside and they can get super sideways and they're going up hills and their car looks like it's going to flip over all the time.
The ones
This
that
is
you'll
that
occasionally
this
see
video.
the video of the car just rolling down the hill because they fucking took a steep hill too hard.
Yeah, so it's sort of a racing obstacle course where the difficult part is actually getting to the finish line, less so beating people and going faster. So you've got all kinds of different buggies and quads and vehicles that you're going up steep slopes and inclines and going over trees and rocks and all kinds of fancy stuff. Just try not to lose your balance, try not to fall over, try not to spin out. Have fun. Something that I know that you are already playing and quite excited with is Stellaris Federations DLC hits this week. This is more Stellaris, which is good news for all Stellaris fans.
All 10 of us.
Yeah, it's 4X space opera nonsense fueled by I don't know, political rage.
It is an extremely deep 4X grand strategy game. Not as deep as like say Hearts of Iron, but there's a lot there. Federations is very much a rework to the diplomacy tree. Full disclosure, Paradox gave me a copy of this for free. I was streaming it yesterday. It came out today. So you should all be able to get access to it right now. I really enjoy it. I think there's a lot of cool shit to it. I love a lot of the new origins, specifically the Doomsday origin. I like where they essentially go, your starting planet, you have 30 years to get the hell off of it because it's going to blow up.
That's
so
cool.
It kind of forces your ass in gear to find a new planet real quick.
You get Kryptoned.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Stellaris, David, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you played Stellaris. Stellaris is essentially create your own sci-fi story, and it has references to everything in it. You have like your obvious Star Wars, Star Trek, etc., but you get deep cuts like Babylon 5, fucking Blake 7.
Stellaris is Crusader Kings 2 in space.
Yes, that's a good way of saying it.
Less like hegemony and knighthood and nonsense. But
well, you can actually create a hegemony now with the Federation's DLC. Straight up,
cool.
you can actually create a hegemony. We just go, you're part of us because you're like a baby and you can't take care of yourself. So we're going to take care of you for you.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That guy doesn't know what's good for him, but I know what's good for him, and it's giving me all of his money.
Yes. Unfortunately, Stellaris is also made by Paradox. And while I love Paradox, I also hate Paradox.
DLC.
Yes.
Oh my god, do they love DLC. You will get more bonus content to any Paradox video game than any other video game you've ever played.
This is a $20 DLC for what feels like should be a $10 DLC, and if you want to buy the base game and all the DLC when it's currently full price, you're looking at like a $400 game. So,
yes.
My advice, if you already own all the DLC, $20 I think is a small price to pay if you're a fan of Stellaris.
If you don't own any of it.
If you don't own any of it, wait for a Steam sale. Because when these things go on Steam sale, Paradox tends to do extremely deep discounts. Well, they'll discount all of it for like 80% off, barring the most recent DLC. So you can pick up...
It'll be like $1.99 each. Yeah. It's a good way to do it.
That's how I got into Hearts of Iron, for example. So,
or if you wait a really long time, the whole thing might end up on Humble Bundle. Yeah. Which is actually how I got into Crusader Kings back in the day.
So, Federations as a DLC, I really like. I think it's a great addition. It solves a lot of problems that I had with the way diplomacy worked in the game. I think the DLC is overpriced, and if you have yet to play any Stellaris game, wait for a Steam sale, because god damn does Paradox love its DLC.
All right. Well, there you go. You guys have fun with that. Also out this week, not a new game, but a remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it. Actually, those are two different things. So I think this is a remaster, not a remake. La Mulana 1 and 2 come out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch. These are like Metroidvania-esque games where you play as like an Indiana Jones clone. You're an archaeologist named Lemeza Kosugi, and you're going through puzzles and traps and deadly guardians in order to claim the secret treasure of life.
There is a huge following for this. I don't want to say huge, but I should say devoted following for this.
Oh yeah, people like this game. It's also pretty tough, and I think a lot of people like the challenge.
Yes.
You're Indiana Jones, but you die a lot.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. RBI Baseball 20 comes out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This game is getting destroyed on Steam.
Is it?
People hate this fucking video
game. Now, isn't this the first actual non-the-show baseball game in years?
It kind of, yeah. Unleash your greatness with MLB Crew and RBI Baseball 220. RBI redefines arcade baseball action with massive advancements, including bad new batting and pitching, base running, and blah, 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 blah. From what I understand, reading some of the reviews, is it's got really shoddy performance. It's got poor animations. It's got no multiplayer whatsoever on PC at the moment. It's a very bare bones arcade-based baseball game.
I take that back. RBI Baseball has been yearly since 2014, by the way.
There you go.
Apparently it's just bad.
People are just mad at this game. Now, moving on, also out this week, MLB The Show 20 comes out on PS4, which is the baseball game that people that actually like baseball games give a shit about.
Yes.
It's the definitive baseball video game. It's only on PlayStation. If you are into the show, you probably already have a PS4.
Important to note, MLB The Show 20 actually released last week for people who are willing to cough up the money for it. If you buy a game like your normal,
that bullshit.
Yeah.
Late release for people to pay regular price.
Yeah, it's late release.
That's
it ain't
the only
early
way.
Access.
Which is the only way you could properly say it. It's not early access. It's late release if you pay regular price.
Yes.
Pay extra, you can get it on the release date, which is when it's accessible and you can buy it with money. That's the release date. as per GamePoints bylaw, whatever the hell bylaw that is. Also out this week.
It's one of our maxims.
I can't wait to stop talking about these fucking video games. Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package comes out on PS4. Fuck this series.
David?
This is hundreds, if not thousands of hours of content. But to tell you what I feel about this series, which I know a lot of people really, really love, I'm not going to actually discuss my feelings with it. Instead, I'm just going to read you the names of the games, and you can make your own fucking decision. This game comes with Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 358.5 Days, Kingdom Hearts Coded, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD, Kingdom Hearts, I don't even know what symbol that is, X back cover, but it's not a fucking X because it's some kind of bullshit, and Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep hyphen a fragmentary passage.
So, a couple
Fuck
things.
This entire franchise and the people that love it.
A couple things. One,
actually, that's a little harsh. I know a lot of people that love these games.
358 over 2, and fans will bitch at you because it's 358 days shared by 2 characters.
If you're a fan and you want to get mad at me, come to my house. Like, I don't give shit.
2. So, what's the weapon they use in Kingdom Hearts?
Is it a dildo? I don't play these games.
It's the Keyblade, right?
All right, cool.
So that X sign, how do you think they pronounce that X sign?
Is it key?
Yes. And the Keyblade and the Keyblade are 2 completely separate things in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, God, I don't care about this dude that like sort of died and then a ghost came out of his ass and then his ghost had to get reabsorbed into his ass so that he could live again. Or it's just all stupid bullshit, and it is the squariest shit of all time. I just can't handle it.
I'm gonna fuck with you a little bit more because the people who have played this know this already.
I'm sure they do.
So the final big group of people that you fight at the end.
Of which one?
At the end of the last game, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh no, you can't do spoilers for the third one because like the one guy I know that plays these games hasn't beaten it yet.
It's more than a year old. So it's Organization 13, but it's not the original Organization 13. It's Organization 13-2.
Okay, are they the ghosts that came out of the asses of the original guys?
So the members of Organization 13-2...
I'm pretty sure there's a beach in this video game franchise.
The members of Organization 13-2 comprise of Xehanort, 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 Xehanort.
How many more Xehanorts? Can you just give me like a...
Xehanort. And then like 5 other people whose names I can't remember.
So like Xehanort to the 8th power and the bros.
Because it's him through like multiple ages, right? So it's like young Xehanort, old Xehanort, Kingdom Hearts 1 Xehanort, and it's just the same guy.
Time traveling Xehanort, Earth 2 Xehanort, I get it.
Yeah. And they don't like distinguish between any of them. So if someone's talking about Xehanort, you don't know which one they're talking about unless you physically see him on screen.
Man, we spent a good amount of time just really shitting on Kingdom Hearts. We should probably move
And about there's one more point I want to make.
You can buy all these games. They're only like $50 or $60.
And what's the name of it all? Wrapped up in one. What's the name of the game you just mentioned?
All in one package.
Which is the most fucking reasonable thing that they could have ever have done. Is just name it that.
Well, what's funny is like this game's got all the games, but it doesn't have all the releases because there's been a million different releases of all like the mega mixes and the final mixes, and they're all just weird.
It has all the definitive versions of those releases, though. Like Kingdom Hearts 1, yes, has been released multiple times, but the final remix is the definitive version of Kingdom Hearts 1.
But they haven't finished Kingdom Hearts 3 yet, because this isn't Kingdom Hearts 3 final mix. That leads me to believe that this is not the definitive Kingdom Hearts package, and we will get yet another one of these.
So what you're saying is Squaresoft lied, and they need to have the Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package final remix dubbed too?
Yes.
Okay. What else is coming out this week, David? I'm done with this. I'm done with this fucking game.
Know. Explosive Jake hits for PS4, Xbox One, and PS Vita. Thanks, guys.
Still the reason why it's on the list. I saw it was for Vita.
Yeah, I appreciate that you do that for me. This is a game that's been on PC for a little while. It's okay. Imagine Bomberman, right? But take Bomberman and make it an adventure puzzle game. Whereas instead of trying to blow up your friends, you're playing as this little skeleton dude that happens to have bombs, and you're trying to get the hell out of this spooky dark dungeon and not accidentally blow up yourself.
So Bomberman Quest.
Sure, yeah. It's very retro in style and tone. The music is rad. I think this game is actually pretty damn cool. So, Explosive Jake, that's the name of it. You should look it up.
Yeah, take a look at Jukebox Hero. Good to see you in chat, by the way.
TT Isle of Man, Ride on the Edge 2. Man, they could probably think of a better name of this. It comes out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. This is the video game based on the, well, pretty damn famous Isle of Man race. It's the spookiest, scariest, quickest damn motorcycle race in the world that happens on a small island off the coast of Ireland every year, except for this one, as I must point out that the event has been canceled.
Oh, has it been? Okay. I'm not surprised.
Yes. Now,
as an aside,
it's nice, though, that this time it is canceled due to Corona, because there's always the fear that they're going to shut down this event because
did the sponsor pull out?
No, this is the scariest race for motorcycles in the world. This is a race that's gone on for a long time, and people die every year.
Every year people die?
Every year. 100% chance that someone will die every year.
I'm suddenly way more interested in this race now.
The Isle of Man is on a small island on regular roads where they ride around the entirety of the island on fast as shit motorcycles pushing 200 miles an hour on small 2-lane back roads. It is complete and utter insanity. If you want to crap your pants, find a like first-person Isle of Man ride-along video, and just imagine you're there. I would be going through I want to go to this place and rent a scooter and do it at 12 miles an hour and be like, woo, that was intense. Yeah, these guys are completely insane, and they have a video game. It's kind of a bummer that it's separate from MotoGP, because I'd really like it if there was just one motorcycle racing video game that I could buy and I didn't have to get two. But hey, there you go. Also, this week's Silent World comes out on Switch and PC. This is a 2D action-adventure side-scroller. I feel like this is another in the long line of spooky, retro-styled side-scrollers, right? There's a post-nuclear apocalyptic world that's got no light, and you're trying to escape mutants that roam the city, and, you're wandering from left and right, and you're going into rooms, and you're finding keys, and it's kind of an adventure game, but then there's spooky stuff that comes out of the walls, and it tries to kill you, and how many times has that game come out?
Right? A lot.
In different names.
Let me take a look at it here. Let me take a look at it here.
Now, the art style is a little different, and obviously the story is different, and I'm willing to bet that the story's still cool, because that's one of the strong suits that a lot of these games have, but it's almost its own genre. I kind of need to think of a name for these.
Like, I don't like the art style. It
2D side horror games.
It has too much of a Tim Burton vibe to me, and I am so fucking done with a Tim Burton style just in anything. Like anything that even flirts with it I'm done.
Yeah, but anyway, that's coming out. Exit the Gungeon also comes out this week on all the damn things. I'll just give you guys a disclaimer that Exit the Gungeon was ported from iPhones. Play the other one.
Oh,
Honestly.
this is a port from a mobile game. I didn't know that.
Yeah, 100%. This is a port from mobile game. It is not nearly as good as Enter the Gungeon was. It just if you like Enter the Gungeon, just keep playing Enter the Gungeon. I don't know, besides playing it on your phone, that this really offers you any advantage. It's not better playing. It's got kind of a different thing. If you love the franchise and you love the developer, then by all means support them and buy their video game. But for me,
you saw this made for phone and immediately tuned out.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
This is a fun one. Doom 64 comes out this week. Did you know that? Doom 64.
I did know that, and it's actually considered one of the better Doom ports of all time.
Yeah, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Which is pretty great, dude. You guys could buy this game and play it on any system. I don't care how much storage space you have left. Please make a guess on the install file size for Doom 64.
86 megs.
You're actually low. Add 200 to it.
286 megs.
Yeah, well, it's 280, but yeah,
280. Okay.
Still a pretty damn small video game, man. But yeah, that's cool. Also, you know what? You don't even have to buy this game because there's a different video game coming out this week that you could buy, and you'll get Doom 64 for free. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. It's good to know.
Doom Eternal drops this week for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. If you have heard of Doom and you don't live under a rock, you're probably ridiculously flipping hype for this video game. And
2016 Doom was my game of the year of 2016. I fucking loved the campaign to Doom. God damn, was it so good.
People love this flipping video game. And like I said, it does come with Doom 64 if you pre-order it. That's the bonus, is you get Doom 64 for free. However, if you have not played a Doom game, or if you didn't play Doom 2016, honestly, if you're curious, just buy the first one and give it a shot.
Go play Doom 2016. It's got to be dirt cheap on Steam right now.
Yeah, it's going to be way cheaper. It's still ridiculously fun. I don't know that you necessarily need to beat it to have fun with Doom Eternal, but it's just a damn good video game, so why not, right?
Let's take a look, see what Doom is currently selling for on Steam.
But if you want Doom Eternal, you probably already know about it.
20 fucking
the
bucks.
First one
Buy it
for $20. This one's gonna be $60. It's the single player murder rage fest, and thank you, Jukebox. I also believe that, but you know what? Fancy green screens are expensive.
That's true.
And finally, in probably the greatest moment in gaming history, there's one last game, and it's releasing on the same day as Doom Eternal, and it's the one thing that gives me hope for humanity. Animal Crossing New Horizons comes out on Switch, and it's not the release of that game that makes me happy. It's the love and mutual support that the Doom fans and Animal Crossing fans have had for each other for the last 6 months, as they all realized that their games were coming out on the same day. And there's so many pieces of art you can find of the Doom guy showing what's her name? Isabel from Animal Crossing, showing her how to shoot a gun, or Isabel showing the Doom guy how to fish.
I love it. I love it so much.
It's the greatest thing in the world, and I'm actually kind of sad because as these games release, that might start coming to an end, but I really hope it doesn't. If you've never played an Animal Crossing game, I don't know how to sell it to you. It's a video game about nothing.
Yeah, it's the Seinfeld of video games.
Yeah, but I didn't want to say that because the New York Times said that years ago, and I don't want to be that guy.
In regards to Animal Crossing?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, New York Times said that about Animal Crossing 2013.
Huh, go figure.
I know, because I had that thought earlier and I looked it up and I was like, man, I can't talk about it because New York Times already did it.
Hey, if we can't rip off the New York Times, who can we rip off?
That's true. Plus, most people wouldn't have seen that because you need a subscription to read that damn magazine.
we just saved you $15 a month. You're welcome.
Congratulations.
David,
but Animal Crossing is a game where you show up to a town, a dude gives you a house, you get a loan for the house, and you do the most ridiculous bullshit to pay him off. I'm gonna shake some
Tom
trees,
Nook's a fucking
get some bugs.
Loan shark, by the way.
No, dude, he's a saint. He gives you an interest-free loan that you can pay off whenever the hell you want.
Okay, fair enough.
100% interest
Now,
free.
Jukebox Hero says he enslaves you. Don't spend this.
What are you talking about, bro? He doesn't. My guy gets a free house, right? He lives in the house. I could turn the game off and come back a year later. Guess what? I ain't evicted.
I have never played an Animal Crossing game.
Charity, son.
Something about this one, though, I really want to play this one. I couldn't tell you why.
I don't have any interest in Animal Crossing at all as a franchise.
I didn't either.
People love it. It is crazy relaxing. It is just not for me. I don't get a lot with shaking the trees and fishing and doing all that other fun stuff. But the only time I've really enjoyed Animal Crossing, and this is hilarious, is when it was on, I think, GameCube. And the only reason I played it is because you could get arcade cabinets of old 8-bit NES games.
Huh.
And I had a friend that already had a save, and all I did was play the old NES games. That's my experience with Animal
That'd be
Crossing.
interesting if that makes its way into here. Captain Ice Cold in chat says he also donates 95% of his earnings to charity, specifically orphans. So
That's
Tom
true.
Nook's
I think that's a quote from one of those video games, man.
Tom
He's
Nook
a
is
pro.
apparently really is a saint. So fuck the internet for lying to me, I guess. I mean, who knew that the internet would be a den of lies?
Dude, I think we both knew that.
I also wouldn't put it past Tom Nook harvesting organs, though, to be fair. So
I mean, he could be evil, he could be nice. It's whatever, dude. He wears a sweater.
I do want to play this, though, and do you know why?
What?
And this is going to sound weird. I don't know if you feel the same, but because you haven't finished it. Since I have finished Death Stranding, which I will say is not a fun game, but was a relaxing game.
You need a game to relax and have tasks to do.
Yes, and this seems like it could fill that void left behind by Death Stranding.
For me, that's any city builder.
Yeah, same idea. Like, I've been going back to Anno every now and then, but I've kind of capped out on Anno. There's really not too much I can do.
I've never found like a city builder or like one of those like civilization games fun per se, but it like scratches that weird itch in your brain.
Yes.
Of I need to be doing something.
David?
Damn. Sorry, I got it. Like, Jukebox Hero is calling out that the coronavirus is Kojima's DLC for Death Stranding.
It's that weird meta thing that he loves, where he did say it would bring us all together.
That's
he
true.
He did say that we were all going to be connected by Death Stranding.
We're all going to be connected while we're stranded inside.
David, that's the end of
ever.
new releases, and thus the end of the show. This has been GamePoints episode 210, and thank you all for showing up. If you couldn't catch us live, we do stream every Tuesday right here at twitch.tv/GamePoints, but you can always catch the older shows over at youtube.com/GamePointsPC. Regardless of where you watch us, though, you all know what streamers want. Likes, follows, and notifications turn on, bits, subscriptions, etc. All are welcomed and appreciated. You can be part of the greater GamePoints community by joining the Discord, link provided down below in the description of the video or in the info panel of Twitch. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at GamePointsPC. You can follow David there at @PashLife_Satori, or you can follow myself at CapitalistPig21. Thank you all for showing up. I will be randomly streaming some more Stellaris Federations throughout the week until Thursday, in which case we'll probably try out that Resident Evil 3 demo, and hopefully Doom if it actually launches at 9 p.m. my time on Thursday. Hope to see you all again soon. Until then, we're out of here.